everyone.
Hi, I am here with Kely McClung, and he directed the movie from last night, Altered. And you're here tonight for the...
No, I want to support the rest of the festival, you know. I mean, it's a lot of filmmakers, a lot of talent, so it's fun to try to support everybody.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm sure everyone appreciates your support. Do you want to talk about your film last night?
You know, it's a strong scene. I mean, I wouldn't think rape is a comfortable thing, so you try to make it as brutal as possible. And, you know, what's really interesting is it's actually a little homage to the movie Irreversible with Monica Bellucci, which is an 11-minute take.
Yeah.
And we actually copied the same shot, the same Dutch slight angle on her face.
Oh, really?
But our shot, it still has a similar effect. People are very, very, very uncomfortable.
Right. It definitely made.
And it's 22 seconds.
Okay.
So we feel very like, wow, we did something pretty strong to accomplish in 22 seconds what somebody else took, like, you know. I mean, their movie's fabulous. I mean, it's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Irreversible is a milestone movie.
Right. So back to Altered. So what was some of your inspiration?
Well, I just like the idea that, you know, we live in a world that sometimes the world affects us, obviously.
Right.
But how much do we affect the world? So the way do we look at things, is that creating our reality, or is our reality creating us? So are we reacting to it, or are we actually creating it? Right. So we took that pretty literal. So I actually had somebody send me a private message today, and it was really interesting, because we've had about 4 or 5 people say, in a way, it's like Groundhog Day, but in this case, the characters don't know that things are changing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. It's Groundhog Day with the characters not knowing that they're being changed, and so I thought that was a really interesting take.
Right.
But
it's like Groundhog Day without the self-awareness kind of thing.
True, and Groundhog Day was like, you know, it happened 100 times. We happened like 3 or 4. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of. It's not a comfortable movie. I don't know if it's a movie anybody can actually like. Like, I like that movie.
I mean, it's not a happy-go-lucky movie, but there were definitely. I like the glimmers of hope at the end.
And there were, and you know,
the
I had another
reality.
person send a nice private message today,
Yeah.
and I love their take on it. And their whole thing was, they thought it was fascinating how the opening act is so dark, and like us, we have no information. We don't even know how to watch the movie.
Right.
So we're in the dark, literally, so the movie is very, very dark.
Very much so.
And then it gets lighter as you get more character, and you start getting more of a fantasy-oriented, where the monsters come, and the demons, and the zombies, and those things. And
there were some flowers, too.
And exactly.
Yes.
And that flower was a motif all the way through.
I like how it was a symbol of
And by the end, you
hope.
realize it's almost a love story.
Yeah.
You know, and there is hope. And if you listen to that final voiceover, it goes on, it's full circle again, because now, even though she's in the cemetery, which we would assume is where he's buried, and she's talking to her friend who's in the wheelchair, she's actually talking about the character that she just met him, and isn't he cool, and blah, 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 blah. And so you're like, so it's starting again, and again, it's full circle, because that goes back to the theme.
Right.
That good and evil, they never really die. They just keep.
You have to have the yin with the yang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're elementary.
Yes.
Elemental.
Elemental. All right.
So that's my concept.
Wonderful. Well, I really enjoyed the movie, and you guys should check it out sometime, Altered. And how can we follow you in your progress as a director, or?
We have a huge Facebook, Twitter presence.
Okay.
Not with. Actually, on Twitter, I think I have about 200.
Oh my goodness.
I never pay attention. Whereas my personal Twitter has 4,000 or 5,000.
Right. Your business.
I just can't keep up. So
it's a lot to keep up with.
We have tons, I mean hundreds and hundreds of behind the scenes and video reactions and testimonials and reviews. And so our Facebook, The Altered Movie. And we're just now coming out, and we'll see if we find some legs and see if people like it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Of course.
And
this is wonderful.
It was wonderful. And I am Kim Hamilton with Atlanta's Chosen Time.